What's going on, people? What's going on? We gonna make it do what it do. Sunday evening, right here. World overcoming. Right here, we're overcoming the world. Listen, we're here today with Pastor Tyrus Hinton for the pre-launch of his new book, Confidence. We're gonna give you a chance to come on in, listen. If you have any questions, go on and type them in the comments. We'll be able to try to answer those as good as we can. Hope everybody's doing all right today. How you doing, Pastor Tyrus? You all right?
I'm doing good. Pretty cool. Facebook Live. This is my first time ever doing this Facebook Live.
Wow.
First time ever doing this YouTube Live. FaceTime ever doing this Instagram Live. So if you're out there and you know me, please say hello. I will try my best to say hello back to you.
Listen, y'all get it. Y'all show a man some love. Jackson got his own radio. Now, y'all show him some love, man. This is first time on Facebook Live, YouTube, Instagram. We're simulcasting right now because this concept is that important. In this day and time that we're living in, there's a link for you to pre-order your book of Confidence. Definitely want you to get that on Facebook. I don't know if we got it on the Facebook, but we'll get you the link so you can pre-order the book of Confidence. Good to see Ernest Lassiter. Good to see you, sir. Yes, cousin in the building. Yes, sir. Good to see you. So we'll have that link up. We should have had that link up there already, but we'll have that link for you guys to pre-order. All right.
Or they can go to PastorTyrus.com.
They can go to PastorTyrus.com.
PastorTyrus.com.
And where will it be on there?
Just under shop.
Under shop. So go to Pastor Tyrus, Tyrus, PastorTyrus.com in the shop. You can pre-order right now. So everybody, if you got two computers or if you only got one phone, get off the live. Go to PastorTyrus.com. Go to the shop. Click and come back to the live. We'll still be here. We ain't going nowhere. We have a bucket of chicken, some collard greens. We'll probably have some musicians, dancers. All right, so here we go. Let's go. Talking about confidence. Well, first of all, let me tell the people who you are, because everybody may not know who you are. Everybody may not know your accomplishments. Because y'all know Pastor Tyrus is very humble. He's the kind of like the opposite of me. Y'all pray for my friend. So Pastor Tyrus J. Hinton, he's a pastor, a teacher, an author, multiple times an author, counselor, mentor, coach, motivational speaker, TV personality, just added TV personality with shows that have reached, watch this, over 50 million homes. Not people, homes. So you can imagine, you multiply that by 3 or 4 to see how many people he's reached. So we have a person that has definitely accomplished a lot in just a few. Now we're going to ask you, what is the impetus or the creative concept of this book? What is confidence?
When think about confidence in light of the book that I have just finished writing and adding to, it seems like every week, it's to have confidence in the confidence that you've already established. So we're confident at one level, but then we build on top of that confidence. What are you confident in? You are confident in the difference that you possess. Okay. And sometimes, and the reason why I wrote this book was because many times the differences that we possess can make us insecure. They can make us feel inadequate. They can make us feel not a part. But once you learn to be confident in that difference, you'll see a result, which will give you another level of confidence. Right. So that's why it has to be confidence.
Confident. Got you.
Not confident arrogance. Confidence.
Right. Well, say a little bit about that. Before I jump into my comeback on that, say a little bit more about the distinction between confidence and arrogance.
Well, to me, this is a Tyrus Hinton view, but confidence is you being confident in it, but not for the purpose of being condescending, not for the purpose of looking over, not for the purpose of looking down. But when you have confidence, you're saying, yep, this worked for me. Yep, this has worked for me. I know it. It's proven. And I want to forward it. I want to pay it forward to somebody else. I want to build somebody else. I don't want to step on anybody else. So there's a difference. So when I'm saying confidence, I want you to be confident, but don't be so confident or overly confident until you tip the scale of arrogance, which then it doesn't make sense to be so confident that you can't help nobody.
Right.
No one wants to listen to you. No one wants to talk to you because you're not reachable. You're not touchable. So you're confident within, and you just build on that confidence.
Gotcha. I heard one guy say that confidence is knowing your worth, but arrogance is thinking that you're worth more than somebody else. So we want to have confidence, but we don't want to impose anything on anybody else. We're all great. And we all can lean into our difference because our anointing is in our difference.
Yes.
And a lot of times growing up as children, we're attacked, ridiculed for our ears being big or something else that's different. Talking a lot. Both of us are preachers. We get paid to talk a lot. We're counselors.
True.
We get paid to talk a lot. But growing up, refrains from unnecessary talking was a negative thing on my report.
Wow.
So it was,
wow.
Everybody knew I was going to be some type of talker. Everybody knew I was going to have some sort of, but it was not always celebrated. It was not always viewed as a gift. It was definitely sometimes viewed as a weakness, as a flaw, as something that should be hidden, something that should be downplayed. So building that confidence was something that I had to teach myself because some of the people in my own home were the people telling me to downplay it. So building that confidence. So I do want to get to that a little bit. Another thing we talked about from the book is that confidence, talking about the difference between confidence and confident confidence. Confidence is saying, I know they'll like me. But confident confidence is saying, I'll be okay if they don't.
Yeah, that when you're talking about confident confidence, right? So we're picking apart levels of insecurity, right? At the base of insecurity, at the base of not feeling like you're worth enough, at the base of not feeling like you have enough, at the base of not feeling like you can contribute enough. Sometimes that will cause you to withdraw and retract, right? But the reason why you're withdrawing and retracting is because of rejection. It's a fear of rejection. It's a fear of being told no. It's a fear of thinking I can't. It's a fear of not measuring up. When you are confident in your ability, that's one level. But when you take a stab at confidence and you build on top of that, everybody who don't care and is not interested in your concept can kick rocks. And that's the place where we have to get. I would like for you to like me, and I'd be confident in that. I would like for you to subscribe to my idea, and I'd be confident in that. But the fact that you don't, and I still keep going, that's a level of confidence that cannot be shaken and can't be moved. When I think about confident confidence, and pardon me, everyone who's live with us, because used to me interviewing, I'm used to interviewing, not being interviewed. So that's a joy. You'll have to bring me as you need to make sure that I stick with what you're saying. But when I'm thinking about that, I would love for you to agree with me, right? I would love for you to be with me. I would love to be appreciated by you. But there's a level of confidence that you have to reach in a place of your life.
I just felt it.
Where it just doesn't matter.
Let's go.
When you've cried enough tears, your tears somehow become the water for the seeds that make you grow past everybody that told you no. I've had a lot of rejection in my day, I've had a lot of rejection. I know I look very young. I'm getting ready to celebrate 27 years on Saturday. Married to the same woman, the only mother of my children. I'll clap for that. Whether you clap or not, my confidence. I don't care if you're happy or not. I'm happy about it. There's been a lot of no's prior to marriage. In my childhood, there's so many people that think they know you because they see where you are. But they have no idea. Social media has lent to people to make you believe you know more about a person you don't. You only know what I show you. Which is going to be selective, right? But when I think about growing up and watching, and of course I was a child born to a teenage mother, which many people don't know. My mom was a teenager. She was 14, 15 when she got pregnant with me, had me. I spent a little bit of time, maybe a couple of months in it's called the Fondling. It's a home for teenage mothers. And, I could have been adopted anywhere. The Lord was faithful to me, and my paternal grandmother came and got me, right? So here I am. I'm being raised by my paternal grandmother. Shout out to the one and only. She is deceased, but when I tell you she's alive in me, Mom, Dolores said, man, she's amazing. But so there were levels of insecurity that came as a result of how I got here. that came as a result of my family structure. Because my grandmother, it was her. She was mom, she was dad, she was grandma. She worked 2 jobs. She took care of her 4 children, her 4 biological children. She raised them, and then took in 2 of her grandsons. So here we go. So there's a lot of things. So from the foundation, a great foundation, a solid foundation. However, a lot of opportunities for my confidence to be messed with.
Right.
So of course, going to school, you come from a single parent home, you hear a lot of people talk about their dad and their pops and this, that, and the other. Ah, man.
Right.
You hear about mom and dad and everybody's mom. You know, I got in trouble a lot in school. I didn't want the world to know it. It's out there now.
It's out there.
I got in trouble a lot in school, and my mom would come. But she was my grandmother, so her hair was already gray. So, you know, you got that going on. Oh, your mom's this, your mom's that, your mom's that. And of course, I'm a church boy. I was taught to prefer. Now, I can throw my hands. Don't get it twisted. But I was a church boy, taught to follow peace, right? Then, so I got to deal with that set of rejection, right? Because your family structure, your family dynamic is not the same. Then, here's something, Pastor Joe, I've never shared this with you, but I was one of the richest dressed kids in my school, all right? My mother bought my stuff out of catalogs. Yes.
Okay.
My clothes came out of catalogs. I didn't go to the Avenue and shop like everybody else. I didn't go. My mom had magazines that she ordered my clothes from. Well, I was ridiculed from it because my clothes were very different from the people that I went to school with. They had on the latest this. I had on the best quality of that. So it was a little different. But I'm ridiculed because people who don't understand quality are going to tease you because it's not common. So anything that's uncommon is going to be criticized. So those are things I kind of dealt with: elementary school, middle school, what we call it junior high school up north, and then the high school. And of course, I'm a Bible guy, so of course I used to tote around my Bible in my book bag. One of my wife's good friends till this day, she used to come around. What's the word of the day? And I'd have a word because I used to study my Bible. I read my Bible because I felt like I had something to give. With all of that, and giving you that layer, and giving all of you that layer that you needed, you can understand why I would write such a book, because they are individuals that are dealing with that right now, whose confidence is being messed with because they don't fit. Confidence is being messed with because they don't line up, because they're not the norm. And for a long time, that messed with me because I didn't fit. I didn't fit with all of the guys whose mom and dad lived together. I didn't fit with all of those who had the latest and coolest clothes. I didn't fit with those who, you know, who could just fight at 3 o'clock in the park. I was going the other way, or I was involved in some program where my mom had something for me to do. I had stuff to do. I couldn't get involved with that kind of stuff. And you're ridiculed, but that starts to tear down your inner confidence. Like, well, I don't fit. I don't belong. I can't. Oh my God, I don't know how. You know, this, that, and the other. I'm a good-looking guy. Women, they weren't all over me, girl. Well, I won't tell that. Let me change that. Let me change that a little bit. You know, my wife is here at this live. You know, I got to be real careful. Y'all see a shoe coming across, you know my wife should have got me.
This is the Bob and Weave.
Bob and Weave. Just watch your head, Pastor. You know, that kind of deal. But even in that, because, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. Yeah, he had these fresh clothes on, but he wasn't popular. I wasn't what everybody wanted. So then I had to deal with that level of insecurity. I had to deal with that. So building on insecurity, and I had to, Pastor Joe, I had to plow my way through. There's one thing that Dolores Hinton told me when I was young. She said, if you ever get your own key, nobody will ever take it out of your hand. She told me that when I was young. That's when I got my first job, my summer job, and I was working after school. She said, if you ever get your own key, nobody will ever take it out of your hand. What does it have to do with confidence? If you ever get your own confidence, nobody will ever be able to take it out your hand. That's in the book. Y'all gonna see that in the box. If you ever have your own key, nobody can ever take it. And what is that key for me? That key is confidence. You can't tell me nothing about me that's going to make me doubt me at this point. I might think about it. I might be like, yeah, okay, I'm glad you think that way. Or I might not even respond to you at all. So when you're talking about confidence, you're talking about building on that confidence, we're getting back, going right back around to your question. We're talking about building on it and letting those layers of insecurity become steps. You have to let those layers become steps. And you'll find that that's in the early parts of the book where we're talking about letting those layers really become steps to guide you up. Because the worst thing we can do is fall prey to what somebody else thinks of us.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to mess up our confidence all the way. Right. I know I'm not shaped like you, and I don't care. I'm being honest with you. Yeah, my arms are not popping out right now, and it's okay. That's okay. As we were trying to prepare for the set, I'm trying to, it ain't gonna say, it's okay. That's the whole idea of confident confidence. Right. I'm different.
And that's okay.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it,
right. Keep rocks and open-toed shoes. It's open-toed shoes. You mentioned a couple of things, and I really do want to dig into this concept of misfit. Because the term misfit is apropos. A caterpillar becomes a misfit at a certain point in its life when he's about to turn into a butterfly. And there are other worms that are going to always be worms. And the caterpillar starts to say, hey, ain't y'all tired of crawling? Ain't anybody ever wondered what the view looks like from up there? And the other worms, who will always be worms, who were created to be worms, are looking at him like, what's wrong with you? Tired of crawling? You high? That crawling is the stuff. Stop crawling is it, man. What's wrong? And the ridicule and the ostracism and the put down, and all of a sudden he goes into this cold, dark, restricted place, and he doesn't know where he fits. But sooner or later, he comes out as that butterfly. And I think for those that are watching, a lot of times God allowing you to misfit in an environment is an anointing. Allowing you to misfit is his message to you that this is not your final destination. Sure. Moses was a misfit. Mm-hmm. He didn't fit in with his people, didn't fit in with Pharaoh and their people, because he was meant to conquer Pharaoh's people and lead his. Mm-hmm. But he didn't know that. He was being attacked. Are you gonna kill me like you killed the Egyptians? Who made you a ruler over us? Moses wasn't trying to be a ruler, but the answer to that question was God. God made me a ruler over you.
Yes.
But he didn't know that. So again, there was probably some issues with his confidence as he was building on those levels to become the leader that he would ultimately be.
But look at Moses. I mean, you're talking about Moses. All Moses has is a stick and a stutter, right?
A stick and a stutter. Okay.
You just got a stick and a stutter. Who knows it's going to be a rod, but it's a stick and a stutter. I don't speak well. God, who's going to speak for me? Who's going to talk in my behalf? But God's like, no. You just go, Moses. Open your mouth, and I'll speak to you. That's a level of confidence. Moses was confident in his ability, which was not the ability that God was presenting to him.
Right.
He was only confident in his ability. However, once Moses opened up his mouth and God spoke, that took him to a whole nother level of confidence.
Yes.
Once that rod left his hand and became a serpent, that's a whole nother level of confidence. And what happens is sometimes we are, how do you say this right, in a world that is hungry for other people's opinions. I'm just going to say it. Sometimes we're so thirsty for what someone else thinks of us until we miss the best and the clearest voice that will get us what we need, which is God's voice. If he put it in your heart, if he put it in your spirit, if he gave you the concept, if he gave you the idea, why not give him the respect and act out? Why not walk it out? Why not try it? Like Moses. Just open your mouth. Like, okay. Open my mouth. Oh, wow, I'm speaking clear. I'm not stuttering anymore. Imagine what that does for his confidence. Now,
another thing that we want to talk about from the book is OPO, other people's opinions. And we live in a time,
live and die,
where somebody can have a PhD and 20 years of experience, and somebody work at the food line and they never studied anatomy in their life. But when you get on Facebook, or when you get on Twitter, or when you get on the Instagram, both of their opinions weigh the same. You ain't got no training, no education, no experience, no nothing, but you going back and forth for 20 minutes with a guy who got 14 degrees and been studying this all his life. Why? Because your keyboard works just like his. We live in a culture that says anybody with a keyboard can have an opinion. So now, whether you're T.D. Jakes or Will Smith or whomever you are, there's some people who are going to laud you, there's some people who are going to applaud you, and there are other people who are going to say, you ain't nothing. Mm-hmm. And my wife is a Beyonce fan. You know, I know through my wife. She said the first thing she learned was not to read the comments. Right. First thing she learned from being a superstar, you never read the comments. Right. People will say the most hateful, nasty things. They don't know anything about you. So one of the things from the book, some nuggets from the book, never take, and this is powerful, I want everybody listening to hear this, never take constructive criticism from someone who hasn't constructed anything. Right. Never take construct. So if we're building confidence, if you have a mentor, watch this, who loves you, who believes in you, who wants the best for you, and they are trying to give you constructive criticism, take that. Eat that. Become better with that. Don't be so I can't never listen to nobody. That's not confidence, that's arrogance. Right. But if you have somebody who is losing in their own life, bitter and broken, sometimes bitterness masquerades as the wisdom of experience. For sure. No, you need to listen to experience. No, you failed. You don't have experience winning, you have experience sucking. That's not the experience I want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? I want to listen to somebody who has experience winning. You know what I'm saying? So and a lot of times, your confidence has to be strong enough to know when not to listen. Can you say more? I want you to say more about that. To your confidence being in a space where you have to know when not to. Sometimes you listen to advice, but sometimes you have to say, no, I'm pretty sure what God said to me, and I'm going to just do what I think.
Yeah. Well, in that part, I remember talking about that, other people's opinions and what people think. I think that there is a value. Okay. And I remember us sharing this back and forth. There is definitely a value. Yeah, we're live, and my son has walked in. How you doing, man? There is a value to the one at Food Lion. Remember this conversation? Okay. There's a value to the one at Food Lion who has no experience, no understanding, but they have longevity and they have long endurance. There's also a value to the one who has accomplished all of these things and feel like they have a good path. Where we fall into trouble is when we value one more than other. There's not one or the other, there's both. Okay. However, you cannot allow one to make you go in a direction that you weren't supposed to go in. Okay. Here's the thing, a person has charted the path, a person who has gone the course can be tricked in believing that there's only one way. Okay. They can be tricked into believing that this is the way, walking in it, period. Right. The thing is, I'm not you. And you are not me. Right. So maybe the person at Food Lion has the wisdom that the person that already made it didn't have. They might have had favor. They might have had money. They might have had something different than I had. They might have had access that the person at Food Lion didn't have. But the person at Food Lion, their value is so much because they had something that the other person might have quit because they had longevity, they had tenacity, they had endurance, they had staying power. So when that goes other people's opinions, we have to be careful because we can be tricked by what seems visibly successful, what we deem as success. Right. To be honest with you, Pastor Joe, people, just because you have a big house, just because you have a big car, just because you have a lot of money, that does not make you successful necessarily. Especially if you hate your wife, if your kids don't speak to you, and you can't go, that doesn't make you successful. What makes you successful is confidence in the thing that you believe in the thing that can give you the success. If your success is a trailer on 3 acres of land, you know what? Be confident in that. I'm going to be confident with you. I'm not going to say I'm going to be your neighbor, but I'm going to be confident with you. What I'm saying is, I think we have to be careful. And that, I addressed that pretty thick in the book because there are so many people that we're using a measuring tool that is really not for us. Right. That I shouldn't be trying to have your BMI. Right. I shouldn't be trying to have your physique. I shouldn't be trying to have your build. I should know my build and be like, okay, this is what I'm going for. This is what's going to make me feel successful. This is going to make me feel great. Right. Other people's opinions don't necessarily do it for you. Right. And if you listen to other people's opinions long enough, they will kill you. They will kill you. They really, really will, because they'll always make you think either you're too good, which will get you cut down quick, or they make you think you're not good enough, which will never make you go further.
Right.
So that's why when I talk about confident confidence and other people's opinion will make you hate yourself because you're different. Notice on my book, all of you who have seen the cover that I've been promoting and advertising, it says I'm different and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Different is backwards. The D you couldn't do backwards because there's only one way to do a D. But everything is backwards in that. The reason why is because we have been taught as people to hate our differences. Mm-hmm. But now it's time for us to celebrate our differences. Mm-hmm. Now it's time for us to celebrate the thing that makes us different, that makes us stand out.
A lot of people go on job interviews or dates and just lie.
True.
And try to present a false image of who they are because they are afraid of their differences. And here's the thing, when you put your representative out there, nobody can fall in love with a fake version of you.
Right.
You're actually robbing yourself of the opportunity of real intimacy. Yeah. Because real intimacy, hey, I like peanut butter and pickles. You know what? Hey, I like that too. I've never met anybody who likes peanut butter and pickles. Oh my God, I love you. Right. You're robbing yourself of that because you're already prejudging them to think they're going to prejudge you. So again, confidence is not saying I know they're going to like me. It's saying I'm going to be okay if they don't.
I'm going to be okay with me.
With me.
With me. Now, there are steps that we have to take to being okay with me.
Okay.
One thing that's not easy, and I've had to do it, and I'm going to encourage all of you who are viewing. I hope if you're typing in the comments, make sure you type. I know Pastor Joe's kind of hosting my show. I do want to interact with you at some point. One thing you have to get good at, and that is blocking. And I know that we have cell phones that can do it for us, but long before cell phones came out, I had to learn to block certain things out of my mind. I had to learn to block certain statements out of my mind. I had to learn to block certain opinions out of my mind. Man, I don't know who's watching. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm an adult.
Forget who watches.
Not only am I an adult, I'm almost 50. So
whatever, go ahead.
I remember a statement that I heard from Young for a very long time. You're my number one dumb son. You're my number one dumb son. And you'll read about it in the book. It's nothing that I'm not afraid to share. You're my number one dumb son. And I heard that for a long time. There was a comparison. So if I'm the number one dumb son, there must be a number two smart son.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I'm number one this, it's got to be a number one. So, and I heard that for a long time. And I almost believed that I was dumb. I almost believed that I wasn't smart. I almost believed that I couldn't. I almost believed I wasn't good enough. I almost believed that I was just a stupid kid. I almost believed. But I got to a place where I started blocking it out. No, I'm not a number one. No. Block. Long before all of this came out, I'm serious. I had to sit. There were times when I was testing, and because I couldn't get the answer, and this is crazy, and I remember all this stuff, when I was testing in school and I couldn't get the answers, and I'm thinking, you're dumb. Number one dumb son, number one dumb son. And I'm trying to answer a question.
Wow.
And that's in my mind, because I can't figure out the solution. And I can't, my number one dumb son, and I had to somehow block. And I think I had to be, I was in middle school, and I had a teacher, African-American teacher. She was older, and I remember her standing by me. I was taking a test. She was my English teacher, and I was taking a test. I was sitting there, I just kept looking, and she said to me, focus. You have the answer. You know the answer. Be sure and right. Be sure and right. I remember Miss Dobie, she's deceased now.
Be sure and right. That's the whole sermon right there, Bishop.
She was saying, be sure and right. Be sure. And I remember, and Miss Dobie right there, junior high school 192 in New York, I ended up passing her class. That was like the highest grade I had ever gotten in English, because she made me block out what I had to block out and be sure on what I wrote. Sometimes there's somebody who's watching and someone has said some really ugly things to you. Someone has really made you doubt who you are inside. You don't have to go back at them. You don't have to go back and try to get revenge now. You don't have to go back and try to interrupt anything. The thing you have to do right now is you have to block it. And if you can block it, you can move past it. You can move on to the next. You can move. I know. Here you got to stir you.
No. It's funny because as we're talking about, I think it's so vitally important that we understand when we're talking about the place that other people's opinions should have in our life. Courtney Adelaide, the founder of the Main Choice, as her brand was I guess blowing up, she was getting ready to get into Walmart, and she had her plug that set up the meeting with the officials of Walmart, and the plug said, "Listen, only bring one product. Walmart doesn't like it when you bring a whole bunch of stuff. Just bring one." And she said the night before, the Holy Ghost told her to bring everything.
Wow.
Holy Ghost said, "Bring all your products. Bring the whole suite of products." And when she got to that meeting, her plug was sitting there like, "I know you lying. I told you not to bring all the..." Well, it's your fault. When they reject everything, I told you, stupid. I told you not to do it. Of course, Walmart took one look at the picture, the presentation, and said, "We want all your products." But you have to know, you have to be confident in the voice inside you above the voices around you. The Bible says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, or stands in the way of sinners, or sits in the seat of the scornful." So in other words, the first thing out of 150 Psalms, the first thing David tells us is watch out for the haters.
Watch out.
Watch out for the scorners. There are going to be people, and there's a statement that we've all heard, but it says, what does it say? Oh, talking about the conference call. Don't expect everybody to understand your calling. It wasn't a conference call.
It wasn't a conference call.
So, there's a lot of times so advice, and this is something that's critical we've got in the book. Advice is based on knowledge, and knowledge is based on facts, but facts and knowledge are based in the past.
Yeah.
So I can't teach you what's going to happen tomorrow. So you got to take everybody's advice with a certain grain of salt, because if God has called me to pioneer something, you can't advise me.
Right.
There's never been a you before.
Right.
So you can't advise me but so much on how to be me.
Can't.
Because you kind of touched on it earlier. Two things. If you were successful, number one, I'm not you. Mm-hmm. So even if it worked for you, doesn't mean it would work for me.
Doesn't mean.
And it may not have worked for you. You may just be, have gotten lucky. So you may have some things.
See?
I talked to a pastor who was very honest with me. I said, "Man, how did you build this great ministry?" He said, "Man, so many things came together that I had no control over." He said, "I'm not sure if I could do this again."
Right.
If you put me where you are right now, I listen, pray, talk to the Holy Ghost. he was like, "I don't even know that I could," because it was people who are really, in my experience, people who are really, really uber successful are less trying to pour out advice. Well, you got to do this, or if you don't do the people who are a little ego. They want to say, "You got to do it my way. You got to do this. You got to do that." But the people who are really, 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 really multi-billionaires, they're like, "Hey, man, I was blessed. I was blessed." That's what that first thing was. And you're gonna think it's cap. You're gonna think they're just trying to be humble right up until you realize, yes, they don't have a schematic. It was just they believed, they were confident in themselves, and that's what happened. All right, couple more questions. All right, thank you, the viewers.
Hey, Pastor Brian, thank you for hanging out tonight. Prophet Joseph Foster, thank you. Oh, all right, Tyra, Pastor Alberto. Hey, Lisa Page, God bless you. Daniel, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you. I hope that what we're saying you can somehow use in the future, or maybe even share with some folks. But yes, we are confident. Come on, let me know who you are. They're going to keep letting us know. They're going to keep feeding us in between questions.
And please go to PastorTyrus.com and pre-order your copy of Confident Confidence. Go right now and order your copy. So as we're drawing this to a close, we thank you guys for your patience on today. But when I say you got to bet on yourself, what does it mean? Give us the juice. Because here's the thing. This is an interactive, never-ending conversation.
Never-ending.
So what we want is this energy. When you wake up on Monday morning, the book is fine, the paragraphs are fine, but I want to feel that energy. When I say, what does it mean to bet on yourself? Give it to me. What does it mean?
When I'm thinking about betting on myself, you think about how much time you've spent giving to others. I think about how much time I've spent promoting others. I think about how much time I've spent, and it's funny that Pastor Brian Bullock is on, because when I did his interview with him on my television show, shameless plug, Building Bridges with Tyrus. Listen, I'm gonna plug it because I'm confident in it,
right?
And I pay for it. So when I'm thinking about that, Pastor Brian, he really helped me with this, because at some point I was kind of always preferring my brother, because that's what the Bible says, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prefer your brother, let them go first, turn the other cheek, all this other stuff, right? And there's sometimes you just spend so much time, energy, effort, money, investing in everybody else. You give everybody else more time than you'll give you.
Mm-hmm.
You work at everybody else's church more than you work at yours. You fund everybody else's project and not fund your own.
Mm-hmm.
You work an extra job to make sure you can get this, to keep up with this, but you won't bet on you. At this point in my life, I'm putting on my own mask first.
Come on, mask first.
You know, I hope you make it. I really do. I hope you make it. And that's not arrogant, it's confident. Right. Because what happens is I've bet on a lot of things. I've bet on a lot of people. I've given a lot of money to stuff that I'll never get a return on. Well, the return is the experience. The return is the understanding that I shouldn't do that again. I've given a lot to that. But now, if there's any bet to be made at this juncture of my life, it's going to be on me. I've bet on others before. To me, to bet on me, to me to get a second job, to do something I want to do and it don't work, I don't care, because it's money I spent on me. It's time I spent on me. And it's investment I did with me. I didn't do this for somebody else to turn around and then reject me because I did it and they don't like what I did. If I did it, if I bet on me, if I don't win, I'm okay. But if I win, can't nobody else take credit. And that's going right back to the opening when my mom said, if you have your own key, can't nobody take it away. Pastor Joe, none of these people on this live know, like the woman that's in this room, that I worked 3 jobs at a time in my life. I worked 2.5 jobs at a time in my life. I've done multiple things, nothing that I couldn't be proud of, or nothing that was illegal. But I did whatever I had to do to make money, to make sure that my house was covered, and then I had something I can build my dream with. I can work on my dream with. And while others might think it's crazy and it's tiring and this, that, and the other, well, why didn't you ask so-and-so? Because when I asked so-and-so, they gave me a part of it. When I asked so-and-so, they gave me a flimsy answer as if I wasn't smart enough to comprehend it. So what do? I avoid their rejection and I avoid their money. So now, you can't pay me to do something for you because I don't want your name on it. I don't want your name on it. And I'm not saying I'm going to turn down any big donations. So if any of you who want to donate, I will respect you. I will honor you. But the blessing for me is I hold the keys. I bought these keys. I have this. I bought this. This is mine. And everything that's mine now, I'm confident in it. And the reason why I have confidence is because I was confident enough to start it, and I'm more confident to keep building on it. And that's where we are right now. We got to remember, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Betting on yourself? You better bet on you. If you don't bet on you, who is? Because if somebody else bets on you, I'll probably get in trouble with this one.
Come on.
Man.
Come on.
We're
confidence.
live.
We confident. Let's go.
We're live. Here we go. Why we gotta be out here like this?
Let's go.
If somebody else bets on you and you win, they will never let you win. Because they bet on you when you didn't believe in you. They won, and they will never let you win. They'll never let you believe you won because it was their bet on you.
Been for me.
I paid for this. I gave you your start. I did this for you. I did that. We all need some inspiration, and we're all owned by God, I hope. But we have to be careful because sometimes people will take that ownership thing just a little bit too far. Let's take a break and say thank you, Keosha Street, for hanging out with us. Stephanie Webb, thank you. My cousin, Diane Jackson, thank you. DeMarcus Williams, hey, praise the man. Thank you. My cousin, Ernest Lassiter, thank you for hanging out. Charles Page, thank you. Joshua Roberts, thank you. Gail Williams, hey, Gail, thank you. Vanessa Roger, thank you for hanging out with me. I don't believe my Aunt Judy ain't on it. Y'all better call her. Aunt Judy's on Instagram?
Okay. We're going live. Well, listen, as we're drawing this to a close, so many people out there. Well, let me do this before we close. Let me just ask one really quick thing. We talked about how insecurity, being a kind of an opposite of confidence, can make you withdraw. But insecurity can also make you loud and charismatic. Insecurity, because Will Smith talks about this in his book, he created a character to defend himself. He created a character that makes everybody laugh, that makes everybody feel good, makes everybody feel at ease, so he could hide the fear and insecurity that he had inside. So as we talk about, say more about that as far as there are two ways that insecurity can plague you. It can turn to the shy person who's in the corner who never opens their mouth, or it can be the person on stage with the microphone leading thousands. Insecurity can create both of those.
And I think that everyone, if we're very honest, everyone, no matter how accomplished we are, everyone possesses a level of insecurity.
Yes.
Even me sitting here with you, there is a level of insecurity that I still possess. However, in that insecurity, my confidence has to overshadow it.
Yes.
We all possess it. There are days when, well, Sam can tell you, I'm here. Sam is like, you okay? When I'm on set all day long, and I get down to about the third or fourth interview, or maybe even I'm done all my interviews and got to do the night show, and I'm just like, and Sam is like, are you all right? And I'm saying, I hope it was good. I hope it was okay. And then he would say, man, why are you even saying that? And that sparks my confidence to come back and say, wait a minute, yeah, that was good. But insecurity, a little bit of insecurity is good because it keeps you studying, it keeps you wanting, it keeps you reaching, it keeps you searching, it even keeps you searching yourself. Now, I don't want you to be so insecure that you have to start lacking confidence and you start running from Jezebel, like Elijah. I don't want you to run from Jezebel, because if you see where Elijah ran to, the Bible says in 1 Kings, the 19th chapter, that he was under the juniper tree. That's where he landed. I think it's a good place because praise is there, and he was able to get fed by praise. However, had he not landed where he did, he would have stayed in a perpetual state of depression. Insecurity can lead you to a place where you just feel like you're not good enough, where you feel like it's not working, and you have to be careful. So when I'm talking about confidence, all right, have a little bit of insecurity, but let your confidence outweigh that, so that you don't live in that insecure place, so you don't live in that place where you have to be loud. There are times, that's a joke, more often than not, and anyone who's watching live, and if you're watching and you're just getting to know me, now you get to know a part of me. Just because I'm in an audience with you and everybody's speaking and I'm not, don't ever think I'm stupid. Don't ever think I don't know. My mom taught me you have to be quiet. Study to be quiet. Study to be quiet. Let the people that are loud, let them talk. Let them go. Let the people that are talking, let them run, let them keep raging, let them keep. She said sometimes you just have to be quiet, because only a fool wants to be loud all the time. Only a fool wants to be heard all the time. Only a fool wants to be the only one that knows everything. Sometimes you just have to be quiet. So in those quiet moments, people can mistake your quietness for insecurity as well. No, there are just some things I'm not going to argue. We talked about that in the book. Y'all just have to buy this book.
Get the book.
It's loaded. It's loaded. Talking about that, where how sometimes if you are trying to argue with somebody loud, it's a point that you probably don't care about. That's the ego stroke at that point. It's not even important. What's that going to do for your confidence? We had this conversation. Y'all have been privy to a lot of conversations that we've had. When we talked about the person that has ridiculous this and pay this for that and this kind of live like that, who cares?
Who cares?
If that's how you want to live and you're confident to live like that, go for it. I'm not going to mess with your confidence. I'm not going to tamper with yours. But don't get mad because I don't let you stop mine. Right.
Let me work. Kanye said it in his song. He said, man, I spent like $400 on this. Just to be like, brother, you ain't up on this. And I mean, he said it, and everybody can resonate. You done bought some stuff that you can't even pronounce, that when you wear it, you're looking for a certain reaction. And if you don't get the reaction, you wasted your money. You're looking for a certain level of street cred to boost your confidence, and somebody might not even recognize. This guy I did business with, he walked in the real talk, he walked in a $6,000 Pico. Nah, it looked like Burlington Coat Factory to me. I had no idea what it was, but I mean, he knew it was $6,000. He didn't care what I thought about it, but I'm just saying, he's like, yeah, man, it's a $6,000 Pico. He had to tell me how much it cost.
Wow.
I was like, bro, it look like some nice Burlington Coat Factory, $56 like jacket. But he was like, yeah, there's this whole company in Italy. I don't care about the company in Italy. And the man that gave his people 5-hour work. I don't care about that. So the point is, a lot of times we're not confident because we feed our confidence off of other people, and that is a dangerous place to be, because if other people can give you confidence, other people can take it away.
Ooh.
If other people give you your confidence, other people take it away. All right, so we're going to closing comments today. Thank you all so much. Thank you all for being with me and Pastor Tyrus. I hope you can see him in that angle, but thank you for being with Pastor Tyrus.
I'm here.
And myself. As we talk about the pre-launch of his book, Confident Confidence, definitely want you guys to go cop that. PastorTyrus.com, www.PastorTyrus.com. In the shop, you can pre-order it today. And the first 10 books are going to be signed by the man right here. Is John Hancock. Right there, he's going to sign those. You can get your autographed copies. So any last closing comments as we close?
That's it. Thank you for joining us tonight. If I could say anything in closing, definitely you want to bet on yourself, but more than betting on yourselves, be confident in you. Celebrate your difference. It's okay if you're different. It's okay if your speech is different. It's okay if your walk is different. It's okay if you have a bruised hip. It's okay if you have a lazy eye. I'm talking in the Bible, and those of you who read your Bible, you know what I'm talking about. It's okay if you have a stutter. It's okay if you have a stammer. It is okay if you have to wobble when you walk. But celebrate your difference. Be confident in your difference. Your difference will inspire so many. And you need to grab a copy, because not only do I talk about what those differences are, I'm different and okay, but it also gives you some really good keys to building and maintaining your self-confidence. This has been great. I've enjoyed hanging out with Pastor Joe tonight. This has been dope, and thank you for hanging on with us. We appreciate it so much.
All right, guys.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. All right, y'all. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
Left hand side. Left. There you go.
All right. How long was that?